Our vision is that we would have a healthy, hunger-free North Texas. At North Texas Food Bank, about 8 to 10% of our food goes out in the form of meals directly from the food bank to the food insecure individuals. The rest of it goes out through partner agencies who are spread across the 13 counties. As we stand today, there's more than 250 partner agencies out there, and so we're constantly nurturing and growing those relationships to reach more people.
We know that hunger causes so many negative repercussions, whether it be health issues or the ability to take care of your family and not be in crisis mode all the time. We want to take that off the table. So the North Texas Food Bank relies so much on community support to make sure that we can put meals on people's tables that need it. The first thing that we always look for are funds. It gives us the flexibility to buy the product that we need, and for every dollar given to the North Texas Food Bank, we can provide 3 meals.
Hey everybody, welcome to Live at Chance's house. And can you believe it? We have made it an entire year. Now, if you guys remember last year, what did we do? We raised money for the North Texas Food Bank, and I couldn't be more excited right now to have Liana Solis from the North Texas Food Bank on with us today. Liana, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I love your energy. It's definitely making me feel energetic right now too.
Well, it's exciting because Live at Chance's house really became out of 2 things. 1, I didn't have any place to play. And 2, I was like, you know what? We might as well do some good for the community. And North Texas Food Bank was the first charity that we raised money for last year. So I'm really excited to have you on.
Yeah, super excited to be here.
All right. So I think what I want to accomplish is a couple of things. I mean, I think ultimately everybody knows what the North Texas Food Bank is about, but first off, what do you do for them? And give me a little bit of maybe history about the organization. Tell me some stuff about it.
Yeah, sure. So me specifically, I'm a communication specialist for the food bank. So I do all of our social media channels. I do all of our videography, photography. I help with our media relations. As of any kind of nonprofit, I wear lots of hats and do lots of things, but those are the basis of what I do. So the North Texas Food Bank, basically, it was founded in about 1982, just by 4 women who saw a hunger problem in North Texas and wanted to do something about it. They saw all these grocery stores that had all this food that was just being thrown away, and it was still perfectly good. So they decided to take that and be able to push it to something that was going to help. So in that first year, they were able to distribute about 400,000 pounds of food. And they were like, okay, we have something good going. We need to keep this going. So now, fast forward to now, we serve over 13 counties throughout North Texas. We work through a network of more than 200 partner agencies, and we serve children, seniors, families all across North Texas who just need, we don't call a helping hand, but a hand up, who just need a little bit of help, whether they're going through something hard or something difficult or just need a little bit of help. We're here to provide for them.
I know that the basics of how some, what you might call food pantries work and things like that. I have one here locally in Arlington, and Mission Metroplex, has their own food pantry. And I never really knew how to work. I mean, I know people can donate food, but you think about it, with the amount of waste that's out there, even just bakeries or restaurants or places that have an abundance of food that they can't sell, but they need to move it quickly. I could see that could be beneficial. Do you have specific partners like larger corporations that help you with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we have some great partnerships with places like Walmart and Sam's Club, HEB, that help us. Basically, if there's anything that they can't put on shelves, whether because it's just not pretty or it's meat that they can't put out, they are able to donate it to us, and we're able to get it directly to the people who in North Texas who are hungry. And we do that by getting it mostly through those partner agencies, such as the pantry you were talking about. We are able to connect them with our pantries who are able to feed people who really need that food when it's perfectly good food and there's no reason why it should be thrown out. So of course we want to get it to people that really, really need it.
Sure. So one of the things that I said last year, and I looked it up on the website and it kind of blew my mind. Maybe you can explain it to me in the audience too, because I'm just curious more than anything else. So you say that $1 will feed 3 people. and I get it because you've got food that comes in, there's some that's donated, but how does that really work? I'm kind of curious because well, I can't even get a dollar something on the menu for myself, much less feeding three, maybe just explain a little bit about that. And then, also how important is it though, still having the donations with cash?
Yeah, absolutely. So every $1 that's donated equals 3 meals is what we like to say. The reason why we're able to do that is because as a food bank, as a nonprofit, we have tremendous buying power. So we're able to take the money that is donated to us and buy food in bulk or in surplus. And that's really important for us because a huge part of our mission is to not only provide food, but provide nutritious food, because that's what's really difficult for a lot of people to get. So through those donations, we're able to take, and if there's any gaps of donations that we can't take, for instance, like meat and stuff, we can't take meat donations, but we're able to buy that for almost next to nothing to be able to provide to our hungry neighbors who might not have that nutritious content or that nutritious meal any other way. So that's really kind of down to that, how that works. But I mean, in the long run, really our donors are who we rely on. The people who donate food, the people who donate money are what keep our organization going. I know for us, like especially when the pandemic first hit and there was a huge food shortage and everyone was having trouble getting food, that included us. We were not able to buy the amount of food in bulk that we normally do to feed the amount of people that were now not only the people who were normally hungry, but now we had a whole new area of people that had never needed food assistance before because of the pandemic that we were now feeding. So those donations that we got from people really went a long way into helping us be able to fill that gap that we were seeing with not being able to provide food or not being able to push out food as quickly.
What are the requirements what are the requirements that if you're hungry and you need something? If I had if something happened to somebody and they had a devastating, house fire, or they, lost all of their money and they were all of a sudden homeless and they needed help and had nowhere to turn, can anyone just show up, or is there like a vetting process, or does it just, hey, we're open arms to everybody?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think at the end of the day, we provide food to people who need it, no matter what your circumstance is. We are lucky enough to work through a network of partner agencies and programs and through government support that we're able to provide some kind of option for anyone who needs it. So whether that's going through SNAP, which is what was formerly known as food stamps, of going through that program of getting a monthly food every month for you to be able to do that, or doing our mobile pantries that we've been relying on a lot of. Anyone can go to those, just go through a mobile pantry, tell us your name, tell us how much food you need, and you can just show up. So we're able to provide a series of programs and places that people can go just depending on their circumstance. But we don't turn people away. People have different kind of circumstances and might need help one month and might not need help the next month. But some people might need more long-term stuff. So we really like to be able to specialize it based on what people really need at the end of the day.
No, that makes sense. I appreciate you clarifying that. So, digging through your website and just doing a little research, because I wanted to be more informed myself about, what it is exactly my donation, and as well as, my audience donation may go to. I found some other things that were pretty interesting. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, what exactly, okay, I'm a bit of a I don't want to say skeptic. All right. But I just want to know, how important is this? Because if it is something important, then I'm going to sign up. So what does it mean to be in the advocacy program? And is it something more than me just getting a newsletter, right?
Are you talking about specifically like our government advocacy program? Or
what does that mean? Are there town halls? Are there things that you can do to show up support? Is there petitions to be signed? What does that mean to your organization exactly?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. A lot of people don't know this, but our organization relies pretty heavily on government programs for some of the food that we have. About 39% of the food that we get comes from the government, and about 63 of that of our programs are tied to government programs. So that includes like SNAP, the food stamps that we talked about, some of our senior programs. So that's all tied to funding and donations we get from the government. So obviously support from federal, state, and local government is really important to us, because if we have people at those levels who support the work that we're doing and know that the work we're doing is good and that it's helping the community, then that means we're able to provide for more people. And so for us, it's just the public are the ones that really like congressionals want to hear from. They want to know, the people that are in their congressional district, they want to know what they care about and what issues they're really passionate about. And so that's why we encourage people to reach out to their local representatives and just talk about why hunger is important and why fighting hunger is important, just because without that support, that's a huge area that we wouldn't be getting funding or food from. And we want them to be able to support and know that hunger is a bipartisan issue, no matter what side you're on. That it's something that should be fought for sure.
That makes a lot more sense now that I'm hearing you say it. It is an informational thing, because the more we're informed, the more that we can help and reaching out to our own local officials. Because really, when you think about it, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And it's what you're trying to do is act local, think global, right? Because
Yes.
the more we do that, the better off, everyone will be. And that totally makes sense. So I appreciate your response there. Yeah. I was looking at it going, all right, I'm going to sign up. All right. And do you want to get a newsletter? Okay. But what does that get? Totally makes sense. I'm glad that you dumbed that down for me, because I wanted to make sure I was reading it right. But, it totally makes sense. Let's all be informed and educated about where the money's coming from. What does that look like? And look, maybe even a matter of crisis too, depending on who's doing what. If you guys all of a sudden get funding cut for some reason, you're going to need help. And the best way to be able to disseminate that information to your constituents and to the people that donate is to say, hey guys, oh my gosh, we've got some changes in the works. We have to get this done. We could use some more support. But in the meantime, can you talk to your districts, your congressional leaders, and help us out? That makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially when it comes to government, a lot of people get kind of scared just because they assume it's a one-sided thing. But that's what we always like to tell people, is that hunger is a bipartisan issue. No matter what political party you support, you should be able to support that people are hungry and people need to be fed. And that's really what we try to get across to everyone, is that by talking to your local congressman, your local representative, you're able to make a bigger difference than we might be able to just on our own.
So I was thinking about how I wanted to ask a few questions, and I have to admit, I'm tailoring this a little bit around an interview that I had with Nikki Walker from Operation Kindness. And she's got a great job, right? She gets to see, like, cats and dogs and make people happy. And
yes, very jealous of that job.
She had all kinds of stories about this and that. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. But listen, feeding the hungry is a really important job. And, from your perspective, like, what's the most rewarding thing that you get, that you see out of what you do?
Yeah, I honestly, being able to talk to the people that we serve is the best part of my job. A huge part of my job is going out and talking to the people that we're serving and just asking them, how are you doing? What can we do to help you? How are we helping you? And that's the most rewarding part for me, is just hearing some of the stories that I get to hear of people saying, here's where I was at and here's where I was able to get because of you. One of my favorite stories I like to share, I spoke to a woman 3 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago who had just moved here. And she was a single mother, and she had basically escaped a forced prostitution ring from out of state. And she came to Dallas not knowing anyone, not knowing what to do, not having a job. And she was scared and was afraid she wouldn't be able to provide for her 3 kids. But she went to one of our partner agencies, and they were able to set her up with some job training that got her a job. They were able to provide food for her 3 kids and herself. And she no longer had to worry about where the meals for her kids were coming from. And just hearing stories like that just helped me really remember of just hearing them saying, I was in this dark, dark place and I didn't know what was going to happen. And you guys got me out of that. Is just such an inspiring reason that keeps us all going and really reminds us what we're doing this here for. Yeah. Like, of course we're a business, but we're helping people every single day. And it's really inspiring to hear some of the stories and just the resiliency from people. And I know for me, there are some days that my job can seem really hard, but then I hear one of those stories and just hear how optimistic and grateful they are. And it turns me right back around for sure.
That's a great story, actually. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. Those are the kind of things that make it all worthwhile. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, we can spout out facts to you at the end of the day and say what percentage of people are hungry, but like, it's really the stories that really are what motivate us and what should motivate people to get involved and to donate and everything. So we love being able to share client stories with people.
So the donations that you get, being that the donors are still super important to the organization, where does the majority of that money really go? I mean, if you get a lot of food in from other places, I mean, you're getting dollars in. So what are some of the things that the money supports?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way that we phrase it is just of where our resources come from is that 95% of the resources that we get goes back into operations. It goes back into the mission. So that could look in a variety of ways. That could look into investing in one of our partner agencies who's helping us and being able to help them provide for more food. That could be putting gas in our trucks that are driving, that are getting people places. So 95% of those resources go back into the mission, which is something that we're really proud to be able to do. And not all nonprofits are able to have that kind of ratio, but we're very proud that the majority of our money really goes back into the mission and what we're trying to do at the end of the day.
No, that makes sense. Does North Texas Food Bank ever need non-monetary donations of any kind?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a huge thing besides monetary donations that we're always looking for is canned food donations, for instance. Any kind of nutritious, non-perishable food donations will help us a lot, especially, for instance, during the pandemic. Those helped us fill a lot of gaps of, if we couldn't buy green beans, we had all these green beans that were being donated to us. We were able to tell the public, here's what we need. And they were able to donate it just from their pantry. And so we're always looking for people to host their own canned food drive, or even we have virtual canned food drives that we've now created because of the pandemic. So that's another way that people, if you can't give monetarily, can get involved in that way as well.
That makes sense. If there was any one thing that you wish you could have for the organization to help promote the mission of feeding more people, what would that be? Is there something specific, like, hey, we've got a goal of in 2021 where we need to get 6 new trucks, and this is something that we could offer? You never know who's watching.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Donations come from everywhere, and it's worth saying. What's some of the goals that North Texas Food Bank's trying to accomplish this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for us, obviously, the big thing that we always ask for is monetary donations, simply because we can take that donation and do with it what we need to do most, whether that's buying bulk food in an area that we're missing, whether it's investing more in our partner agencies, whether it's putting money into repairing a truck. Just we're able to take those monetary donations and be able to do with it what we need to and feed back into our mission so much more. So that's always what we're looking for, especially, I mean, those kind of unrestricted donations we can use to feed into any one of our programs or any one of our facilities. And it really goes a long way in helping us. Again, like we said earlier, the $1 provides 3 nutritious meals. It can just go really far in being able to help us with our mission and our goal of closing the hunger gap.
No, I appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, so, just kind of wrapping up here a little bit, and I'm thinking about, to those that are watching, I can give an example of other fundraisers that we've done. And do you have any special events or things that are coming up? Or, for example, does North Texas Food Bank also participate in like North Texas Giving Day? And do those things help drive more revenue on certain days? What do you have coming up that's, maybe in the next month or two?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. We actually have one of our signature events in June that's coming up. It was one that we've done every single year. And last year we weren't able to do an in-person version because of the pandemic. So we're super excited to be bringing it back. It's Taste of the Cowboys. It's going to be in partnership with the Dallas Cowboys and Pepsi, and it'll be at AT&T Stadium. It'll be on June 6th. And we're doing it in a socially distanced way. It's basically going to be like a picnic where people can get great food, watch live entertainment just in their pods of their friends that they are able to buy tickets to. So that's the big thing that we're pushing right now, is that we're finally bringing back the in-person events that we're really excited to be able to do in this safe, socially distanced way. So if people are interested in getting tickets for that, they can go to our website, and that's ntfb.org/cowboys.
That's awesome. All right, I'm looking forward to that myself. I mean, so we'll definitely get that out to everyone, and that's a really great event. And it sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm sure, once we really get out of all of this mess, that could be a huge party.
Yes, it usually is every year, and that's why last year we used it as a way to just thank people because we couldn't do an in-person event. But we're super excited to be bringing it back and just to be around people again.
Well, I've been very blessed this year, and despite all of the things that have been going on, I still have a great job. My wife and I are very healthy. My dog is great, and for me, I've been just really excited to be a part of something bigger than myself, and selflessly being able to say, "All right, hey, you know what? Yep, getting out there. I'm going to play a few shows. I'm going to promote my music." But there's been nothing, the single most rewarding thing I've done this entire year, up to this point, has been being able to give back to the community. And I'm really glad that you came on, and thankful that you said yes, just because I want to do more and I want to be able to share that. Sort of the final thought that I just ask you one final question. I mean, the floor is yours. What would you like to promote? Have I missed anything? Is there, throw out your social media, tell me about where we need to be. The June 6th date is awesome. What else is out there? And the floor is yours, Liana, and I really appreciate you coming on. What do you have to say to the audience?
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. So obviously, as the social media manager for the food bank, I will 100% say go follow us on all of our social media channels. We're North Texas Food Bank on Facebook and LinkedIn. And then we also have a Twitter that's at NTFB, and Instagram that's at North Texas Food Bank. And we're always posting fun stories and things to get involved with and ways people can get involved. I think if I want to leave everyone with one thing, it's one, I would say we are just so grateful for all the support we've received, obviously in a lifetime, but especially the past year, just because we would not have been able to do what we've been able to accomplish without the support of the public. But the big thing that we're trying to stress now is, just because the pandemic is dying down does not mean our job is over. We still have so many people that are still trying to recover and that need help right now. So really now more than ever, we are relying on people to get involved, whether that's volunteering now that we're opening volunteer shifts back up, or making a donation, whether that's monetary or canned food. We just really are relying heavily on the community now more than ever, just because they've been able to do so much for us, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. So definitely keep supporting us in any way that you can or are able, and it is much appreciated.
Well, that's just an awesome way to end. And again, thank you so much for your time today. I couldn't appreciate it more, and I can't wait to get this out to everyone. And we'll see what happens. We've started our campaign here with my network and everything that's going on with Live at Chance's House. And we're going to continue to run it through the month of April. And I don't know, I think I actually ran it into a couple of weeks in May last year too. So I'll probably run it for about 6 weeks and just say, hey, if you've got a little bit to give, look, $1 feeds 3 people. That's changing somebody's life.
Yeah, we're excited to see what's able to come of it. So we hope that you're able to get a lot of funds and donations from it. But thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it too, and we'll see what happens. So guys, once again, Liana Solis from the North Texas Food Bank is here with us tonight. And thanks for everyone for watching. It is the 1-year anniversary of Live at Chance's House. We've got more show to come. Stick around. We hope you guys will watch out for the upcoming episodes that we've got, as well as the live music that's coming in the next segment, along with some special guests. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great day, Liana. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.